here's my review for Sword Art Online episode 23. So let's get into this. This week's Sword Art Online episode, it was a solid episode of Sword Art Online this week. A very solid episode of Sword Art Online. It wasn't like super great or anything like that, but it was very solid. So it was enjoyable. So with that being said, let me give you a brief summary of what happened with this episode. Hear my thoughts and opinions on it after that. So when it comes to this episode, what happens, after everything that transpired from last episode, Kirito wanted to talk to Sugu in game, and so they're gonna meet up in game. Sugu gets on the game, ends up running to Rekon though, because once she gets in, Rekon's right there, and Rekon ends up, confessing to Sugu, which was like to no avail. Like nothing happened after. Like she just like shunned his feelings out the way. Like get Eddie, get the step in, seriously. And so after the fact, Sugu ends up meeting up with Kirito. They end up having a duel, though they weren't serious about this duel. Sugu was gonna just let go of her sword, jump into him, and just let Kirito kill her basically. But Kirito was thinking the same thing, dropping his sword and just letting her hit him. But they end up running into each other, giving a hug. They apologize to each other. Everything's wrapped up with that whole thing. After that, Sugu, Kirito, and Rekon end up going into the dungeon, the quest, and they try to complete it. It wasn't really going that well though. Rekon ends up exploding himself. It was like a Chaozu moment right there. He was like Chaozu, he explodes and nothing happens, and it was to no avail. And so with it being still impossible, that's when the cat sits and the sylphs end up coming in and helping them, and they're able to actually be able to manage to get through this bombarding of enemies. And Kirito ends up getting the sword, going through the heavens with the sword, ends up getting to this panel that's on the ground, but he couldn't open it because there's administrative lock, and so he ends up using the card that Asuna dropped, activates it with Yui helping it, and activates it, opens it up, and he's in. And so that's the end of the episode right there. So what I liked about this episode, I will have to say, is that I like the fact that the fighting again was really good. I did like that. The fighting, it's always good in Sword Art Online, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I like the fact Rekon was actually able to do something. Rekon in the series was just always getting crap, you know what I mean? He always getting crapped on and stuff, but this episode he actually did something very useful, though in the end he blows himself up like freaking Chaozu, and it didn't mean anything, you know what I mean? It killed himself for nothing, really, so it sucked. And I like the fact that I got to see the Sylph leader, I like her. I don't know, man, jiggly, but I don't know, I like her. So, yeah, with that, though, I want to kind of get into some other things, like, some things that irked me with this episode. One, it was Rekon's confession. Like, she just, shunned him off, really. Like, she didn't really accept, she didn't really do anything when it came to his feelings. It's like, yeah, you like me? Well, I still like you until she killed in my face. Like, it's just like, what the heck, I don't know. It's kind of messed up a little bit. Cause I was like, oh man, you're gonna be that cold blooded to him, like god dang. And so the other thing that really bothered me with this episode was how Kirito and Sugu made up. Basically, it was quick. I was expecting Sugu to still be sad this entire episode. To be honest, I was expecting her to be sad in this entire episode, and then towards the end of the episode, she finally realizes, well, he's my brother. He's we're still related in some way. We're still family in the end. I want to still be able to protect him, and still support him and stuff. Like you know what I mean. Like have that kind of thought process, and she'll somehow forget about this love, or you know what I mean. Like just wrap it up, not in a way to where how they did it is like she still is hoping to be with Kirito. It feels like anyways for what she said and how he explained it. So basically, Kirito, the reason why he was shunning her away and everything, and he wasn't just shunning her, he was shunning his whole family because he felt like he wasn't a part of the family, because they're not really related like that. So he didn't feel like he was part of the family, which is what led him to play online games like this. And so when he was in the game for 2 years, it kind of made him realize I should do better for Sugu. And so when he got out of the game, he actually tried to be nice to Sugu, though that made Sugu end up having feelings for her. I mean, yeah, feelings for him and stuff. So it just kind of backfired on him, so he's just trying to apologize for that. And basically, I want to be able to. I'm not in. He's like, I'm not in this world yet. I'm not in the real world yet. I'm still stuck in the game. So once I get Asuna out of here and everything's all said and done, I'll be able to give you a good answer on how I feel about you. And so so that made Sugi be like, okay, yeah, I'll be waiting for you then. I'm like, no, cut. No, you shouldn't say that, Sugo. That was not good. Not good. Like, oh, I was like, it still makes it seem like she has hope to be with him when there is no hope, girl. You gotta find a different man, girl. You gotta find a different man. Like, seriously, you can't keep waiting for this guy. I mean, it made no sense to me. Because the only way you're gonna be able to be with Kirito is either if Asuna dies or if Asuna actually breaks up Kirito. Otherwise, you got no chance. I'm just saying. So that was like one of the really main things that really kind of bothered me, because it felt like she still had hope to still try to be with Kirito, and it's just like, come on, really, girl, really, come on, Sugu. So yeah, like the control panel with the car thing was not really a big deal, because I kind of figured the car was going to be used for that. So the person said the car was going to be useful. You were right, the card is useful. So clap for you, clap for you. You're good, you're good. Yeah, I'm talking to you. So, you know, the car was useful. Like I said, again, I like the freaking Silk Leader, man. I like the Silk Leader. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about, and that is the quest in the dungeon itself. It was different from the last time. The first time, remember, there was a bunch of archers, and then there was also warriors. With this one, for some reason, it just had a bunch of warriors, and warriors were like circling the whole dungeon, like the top areas where they couldn't get through, basically, where Kirito couldn't get through. So that kind of like makes me think and wonder, was it like designed for him not to get through or something, or what? Like, why did it change all of a sudden? Because I mean, there are games I've seen that if you do a quest, the quest does change sometimes depending on what it is. So I mean, maybe it changes depending how many people are in there or something. Because it was just him the first time, you know what I'm saying? So, but that'd be kind of weird, because I mean, the archers were actually better in my opinion than what they had for this setup. This setup was good, but it wasn't as good as the archers. The archer setup thing, that crap was destroying. That's destruction. So I'm just like, I don't know. It was a little strange why it changed, and I'm thinking maybe Sugo knows Kirito's in the game now. Because I mean, if you think about it, there's like maybe a registry when someone goes into a quest that they know who the person is. So maybe he saw Kirito there and he's like, oh crap, let me change this up so Kirito can get through. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what it was, but I think it just changes on how many people are in there, maybe, or something. Because it was just a little weird. I mean, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because I was wondering what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the whole thing where you had to use the car just to get through, because otherwise no player can actually get in there unless they actually had a car like that. It's like, it's not even fair. Like, it's designed for you to fail in a sense. It's this whole thing is designed for you to never actually beat the game. We're just like, what the heck? Really, Sugo? Like, you troll? God, I don't even know what to say. God. So, with all that being said, leave a comment below and tell me what you think of the episode. I'm pretty sure you have a different opinion than I do. You know, this is just my opinion, but you know, I can't be fanboying all the time, or you know, I have to give real reviews here. You know, I gotta get real. This was a solid episode. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was great, but it was a solid episode of Sword Art Online this week. And I'm just wondering how the next 2 episodes are going to be. Because I think it's a 25-episode series, if I remember. So I wonder how this is all going to go. Because it did seem a little fast-paced, in my opinion, too. I think it's why they wrapped a lot of stuff up quickly. So, I mean, I don't know. Give me your opinions. What do you think in the comment section below? Like this review. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more Sword Art Online reviews from me. So with that being said, it's been the Thabreakmaster. And until then, break out.